Welcome back to the program. Dana Loesch here with you at the bottom of this third hour. And, we've been talking about this Harrison Butker's, his speech that he gave at Benedictine College. And I think a lot of the people that are upset about where he celebrated women and women's choices, which, by the way, he didn't deny anybody's choices the way that Linda Hirschman has done over the years, or Gloria Steinem has done over the years, or third wave, or fourth wave, or fifth wave, or infinity wave feminists have done over the years. If women don't make the choices that they make, because it's, pro-choice is just a shtick. But he also held men to account, which is what they missed. I thought it was a great address, but apparently the city of Kansas City did not think so. I've never seen anything like this, homegrown in Missouri. And I feel like they forgot that Andrew Bailey was the Attorney General of the state of Missouri. And I was joking, and I hope he doesn't take this the wrong way because we're going to bring him on in a moment. But I'm like, he wakes up in the morning and is like, who am I going to mess up today? That's what he does. He wakes up in the morning and he's like, somebody's going to get kicked in the neck. Who's it going to be? Who's stepping on taking everybody? And it happened to be Kansas City. They were just like, we're going to tweet and dox this guy, Harrison Butker, and tell everybody where he lives. And they were over his commencement address. Well, the AG got wind of that. He didn't like it too much. He thought that's kind of weird. A city, a government institution going after this guy for his free speech. So they gave him something else to do. He's got so much stuff on his plate already. And the Attorney General joins us now via Skype. I hope you don't take that the wrong way, General, but it's true, though. I mean, you're just like taking all comers. But you made a good point because it's a government entity going after him.
Yeah, Dana, look, this is a ridiculous attack by a progressive city official to try to silence Harrison Butker from his free expression of his religious beliefs. That's not tolerated under our system of government. It's not tolerated under Missouri law. Fortunately, the Missouri Attorney General's office has authority under the Missouri Human Rights Act to fight back against this kind of discrimination on the basis of religion. And we will absolutely use every tool in our disposal to hold accountable anyone who is going to deprive Missourians of their right to free exercise of religion. And that's what's going on here against Harrison Butker. We've got to continue to fight back.
Yeah, and because this wasn't done as, I don't know how this could be interpreted as anything other than intimidation, what they did.
Yeah, that's right. It's retaliation, it's intimidation, it's coercion. They didn't like what Harrison Butker said in his religious speech, where he was expressing the tenets of his Catholic faith to a group of graduating students from a Catholic university, and they took umbrage at that. They didn't like it. Progressives don't like the Christian faith. They want to silence the Christian faith. And if you listen to what Harrison Butker said, that was a large part of his speech, was that, like, look, the left wants Christians to remain silent, wants them out of the public domain, practicing, worshiping in private where no one understands the faith, no one understands what they're saying. And Harrison Butker said he's not going to be silent. And I'm proud that he wasn't. And at the end of the day, we're going to stand with anyone who wants to express their religious beliefs in the state of Missouri and prevent this kind of discriminatory retribution, retaliation, coercion against it. There is no rational explanation for why a city official would express the home of residence for a public official who made that kind of statement, unless it was retaliation against their religious beliefs.
Exactly. We're talking with Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. And I'm glad that you're standing up to this, because I can't imagine, especially in this type of environment where, people have been attacked for wearing red hats. They get attacked if they define what a woman is. They get, all of this. And you have all of these college grads that are watching this guy, at Benedictine College, just say things that weren't even controversial 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And that's a chilling effect, because they are evaluating their own speech because they see how this guy, who is an NFL player, how he is being treated and targeted by the city. And they're probably thinking, my gosh, if they can go after him, who's to say that they couldn't do the same thing to me? And I have like so much, less of a platform than an NFL player.
Yeah, that's right. Look, the whole idea behind the First Amendment is that it protects a free, fair, and open marketplace of ideas to include religious beliefs. And the left can't win the argument on the merits, so they have to silence any voices in opposition. We've seen that in our case against the federal government in the big tech lawsuit, Missouri v. Biden, that's pending at the United States Supreme Court. And we see it in cancel culture now. Certainly that's what's going on against Harrison Butker. But look, this is shameful behavior on behalf of the left, and really shame on the NFL. Their DEI officer, who's supposed to support diversity and inclusion, bemoans badmouths what Harrison Butker said. So basically they tolerate inclusion and diversity unless it's Christian beliefs.
Yeah, they had no problem when Travis Kelce was chugging a beer at a commencement. But, if you're, and I'm not just passing shade on him. Come on. But there wasn't a problem with that, but there's a problem with Harrison Butker and what he said. I just feel like that's such a double standard as well. But one didn't threaten the institution of, government, whereas the other one does, because, tyrants don't like the building block of family. They don't like the building block of actual choice like that.
That's right. Again, I think Harrison Butker had it correctly when he said that the progressive tyrannical left wants to drive Christianity from the public domain and prevent anyone from expressing Christian beliefs. We're not going to let that happen on my watch. I'm proud to stand with Harrison Butker and protect all Missourians' right to free exercise of religion.
And that Missouri v. Biden case, I wanted to ask you about that as well, because we just had last hour, we had Dr. Jay Bhattacharya on to talk about the World Health Organization, because he's part of this. And I know that you guys know each other. He by the way, he had some wonderful things about you. But this is, I know the Supreme Court heard opening arguments. We're expecting, tell us what the latest is on this, because I know SCOTUS season isn't until like June for decisions.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think at the end of the day, we'll get a decision in June. We argued that case, and I was appalled that Associate Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, had the audacity to say, well, it seems like the First Amendment inhibits the government's response to a pandemic or an emergency. Like, yeah, that's exactly right. The Constitution exists to protect us from the government. And those are God-given rights. They don't come from man. They're codified in the Constitution as a bulwark, a defensive measure to protect us from the government. So we clearly have a misunderstanding by a Supreme Court justice about the very foundational principles of this country and our national identity. But at the end of the day, I think that Justice Alito and Justice Thomas clearly pointed out that at a minimum, what happened here was the government, the federal government, significantly encouraged or actively participated in censorship on big tech social media. We still believe that we've made a submissible case that big tech social media was actually coerced by the federal government. And if you look at the evidence that's come out from Congressman Jordan in his congressional hearings, he will show you the emails from big tech where they felt they were coerced. But under any of those standards, we still win. And at the end of the day, this case is still pending at the trial court. And regardless of what the Supreme Court does, we're going to be back down at the trial court level in merits discovery, rooting out the vast censorship enterprise. I'm confident that the First Amendment right to free speech, free from government censorship, will be vindicated.
Oh, I can't wait for that day. And we appreciate you leading the charge on this. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey, watching out for all Missourians. We just need to copy and paste you and all these different AG offices across the country. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.